Hey guys, welcome back to Ease Live. Today we continue International Championship, second episode of this, in the second round. And we lead Graeme Dott by 3 frames to 1 going into this episode. So hopefully we can finish up the match today. You know, it'd be nice to finish this episode with this match with an episode to spare. It'd be pretty nice, so you know. It's been reading something quite funny. The 2020-2021 season disciplinary outcomes. Some of the players, man, are crazy. Jamie O'Neill, most notably, just repeated offender for so many different things, especially on social media. The guy must literally be paying out more in fines than he earns. He's been suspended, so presumably he's getting a job, another sort of a job to fill the time. Especially considering he's got to pay off these fines. Presumably, I say though. Who knows? Who knows what he's doing? I don't really know. It's not really a player I took much of an interest in. No, it said he got suspended, but I remember him playing in the World Championship qualifiers 2021 because I remember when he was hounded back by Jamie Clark from 5-0. For a 5-0 lead, Jamie O'Neill had to lose 6-5. Credit to Clark, but Clark, man, how did you blow a 7-2 lead on Judgment Day? What were you doing? 7-2, yes, it's a very, very good lead, but you haven't won the match at 7-2. I mean, he only won one more frame after that to lose the match 10-8. I mean, pretty horrific end, you'd have to call it for Jamie O'Neill against the battler from Hastings, Mark Davis, presumably named after the battle of 1066. You all know, Battle of Hastings, but whatever. Make myself sound like a great historian, even though I ain't done history in God knows how many years, because it's such a boring subject. And a useless one at that, I think, anyway. What could be more useless than learning about things that happened 1,000 years in the past? In fact, 1066 isn't quite 1,000 years in the past, but it's nearly 1,955. Don't forget that. Mr. Blue. Man, I'm tired. All of a sudden, I think the weather is just rainy, miserable, grim. Tiring week. Very tiring week. Out and about. Went to Devon at the weekend. Haven't really had time to recover from that until today. Just vaguely thought of recovering, you know. I think maybe I did myself in a little bit running, you know. Thought I was alright yesterday and a couple of days before, you know. Didn't want to quit running, you know. Want to try and keep a pattern 3 times a week, you know. I only managed to go twice last week, but I think I made up for all that, the walking at Devon. You've got to be fit to live around there, man. And even these coastal towns, where you'd think they'd be pretty nice, there's still a lot of hilly cliffs. Nice swerve there. You know, even your coastal sort of towns, very hilly still. A lot of walking. But very nice, you know. Certainly, we didn't get any beaches. They're not very great in where we went. The best seaside town is probably Bournemouth, or some of the other ones I've been to. That's where we always go. It's a very nice beach. You know, I think it's probably up there, most popular resort towns, you know. I think it's better than the Torquay beach, certainly. Torquay beach is, it's got mould growing on it. And that's not even a lie. Well, it certainly looks like it. Seaweed, mould, whatever, probably the same stuff. The only great thing about the beach is the Sandman. Sand artist. Left myself a nice enough green into blue into the bottom corner pocket, yellow pocket, to give it its, you know, nickname. Nah. Well, my eyesight is just like, I can't even see this well. Maybe I'm just standing too far away from it. Like, I suppose that combined with the fact that it is a really tricky shot to see anyway. My eyesight's not failing me yet. Well, I wouldn't hope. I would like to think it isn't. Just going to screw this back for a bit. Yeah, it's gone wrong. There's this shred, to be fair.
It really is tricky.
No, didn't get it, so a chance for Graeme Dott to put a few balls in. He's on the pink into the middle, of course the black doesn't put into that left corner just yet because red's in the way. Oh no, oh no. No, I'm not even talking. I wasn't even looking at the snooker I wasn't even looking at the screen, but I've just done something traumatic. Not traumatic, but traumatic. Just done something pretty annoying. Elliot Slessor is leading Zhou Yu Along by 30 points in the decider. I just really want to see Zhou Yu Along play in the semi-finals. Like, I just really want him to play. He's got a shot. Come on, Zhou. Zhou Yu Along. We want Zhou to win. Come on, Zhou. Like, how did you blow a 3-1 lead? Like, you numpty. I'm chill who wins the other match. Like, I don't really care. Oh yeah, let's go. My man scored. I'm sure he wins that. Dave Gilbert and Gary Wilson. I couldn't care less. Like, I just couldn't care less. I suppose Dave Gilbert won a title last week. It's just obviously nice to see someone else win. So maybe Gary Wilson. Gary Wilson's got a dominant 57-19 lead in the final as we speak. Or as I'm speaking. Hear that phone in the background? By that phone, I mean, I'm not talking about my phone, I'm talking about the phone in the game. Zhou Yu Along up on a break of 7. You know, he's my pick of the week. Zhou Yu Along. This is the player that I'm backing to win this tournament if I was to back one. You know, the Championship League, I was like, Erzenbacker's going to win. Yeah, well that went out the window in stage 2. Now I just want Zhou Yu Along, but I've missed there.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 17.
It's an amazing tournament. Upset about the events of last night's game, Mark Williams versus Zhang Jiankang. Zhang, I mean, how did you miss that black? Like, that is a formality to a professional Zhang, I'm sorry to say, but under pressure, nothing really is a formality as it is, you know. But Zhang, I feel for him, man. He had a chance in the decider, but too many balls awkward, and you know he really worked hard. He's a good player. He's got a good future in the game. I think after what I saw yesterday, I think I can definitely say something like that.
23.
He's someone who I reckon quite well to do, if you like, you know, if that makes sense. But it don't look like we're headed for a straightforward victory. And Graeme Dott has nicked this 5th frame. It's now 3-2. Zhou Yu Along. Break 14. Come on, Zhou. Really want you to win. You are a great player. The beauty of this tournament is that there's like only one top 16 player left in the quarters. Like, I mean, and that's Mark Williams, probably the most chill of all the top 16 players.
Yes, he's taking the pot on.
That's debatable. it's because it's either Mark Williams or Ronnie O'Sullivan. They're both as chill as they. They're both so chill. Like, you'd think that. Well, Williams is probably more chill because O'Sullivan actually does produce decent results. Maybe Williams is just so chill where he doesn't even care. Like, at least O'Sullivan tries to win. Like O'Sullivan ain't gonna. O'Sullivan don't try and do some silly trick shots. O'Sullivan, but whereas Williams might try some silly cue action if he can't reach it. He might try and do some silly stunt. You know, Mark Williams is kind of like a bit of a experiment guy.
11.
Show you along now, racking the points up, break 22.
12.
I love how I'm literally more focused on. I'm not even watching the game. I'm just looking at the scores, like on the WST app. Taking out Elliot Slessor 3-3 on a deciding frame. You know, Elliot Slessor clearly on good form. We all know that Elliot's a very capable player. You know, he's beaten Ronnie O'Sullivan a few times, just like Alexander Rosenbacher. And you know, he qualified for the Crucible last year and really put Yambing Tao under a lot of pressure from 9-2 down, came charging back to contention at 9-7 before bowing out at 10-7. And Zhou Yuelong's break has ended on 23 points. He is now 7 behind with 83 remaining. Sorry, Elliot Slessor's supporters, but not sorry because I just want Zhou Yuelong to win this match. I really just don't. I don't rate Elliot Slessor as a player. I'm sorry to say, like, I know he's a good player. Probably he's beaten O'Sullivan a couple of times, but is that really a valid victories? Because Ronnie O'Sullivan sometimes turns up and plays the best snooker ever, and he's unplayable. Other times he turns up and it's no match. You know, Ronnie O'Sullivan, he can hardly pot a ball. Sometimes you don't care whether he wins or loses. He just so carefree that he's not even good to watch. It's just embarrassing. You just feel ashamed to be a Ronnie O'Sullivan fan watching that kind of a match. I'm sure you all know how I feel. I'm describing it. Getting very bad vibes here.
61.
Was the black pot on the black here would tie the scores.
Frame conceded. Frame.
I don't think he's going to miss from there, so 3-3 it is. 3-3 on our game, 3-3 on Zhou versus Slessor. But yeah, I really don't rate Elliot Slessor as a player that much, you know, I'm sorry to say. I mean, he has beaten O'Sullivan a couple of times, as I say, but doesn't mean he's great, you know. Anyone can beat a top 16 player, but to beat a top 16 player when they're playing well, to beat a great of the game like Ronnie O'Sullivan when he's playing well, is another matter.
In off. That's careless.
Only,
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan. 4. Playing on.
and you can't really try and tell me that O'Sullivan's not a great of the game, because if you do, then you either just hate him, or you're just being silly.
Very tricky shot coming up.
Like I could sit here all day and try and say Mark Selby's not great at the game.
No.
I know full well he kind of is.
Close.
You don't win the World Championship 4 times if you're not great. But you know, Judd Trump isn't really a great. Oh dear, Elliot Slessor scored. I'm just sitting here thinking, wondering why Zhou Yuelong didn't just win the match. Like, who knows how the table looks like? Sitting here, I don't know what the table looks like. Is it a scrappy table? Is it a nice table? He's only 8 in front. Is Elliot? You know, 1 miss. You know, Zhou Yuelong, ball number 17.
1.
And this Zhou Slessor tie, Zhou's now 15 in front. Slessor's now 15 in front. Yeah, the Zhou Slessor tie is really kind of throwing my concentration off here, because this ain't looking pretty for us. You know, the way we're playing, we're going to be 5-3 down. And 5-3 down against somebody who's just won 4 frames in a row, especially top 32 or something, you know.
Graeme Dott.
And great. had now been given a chance. I did kind of think we'd get a chance after seeing where the cue ball was after the last shot. Hit the hell out of this, really. Hope for the best.
Really bad miss.
I don't believe I just missed that. Like, how did I miss that? How did that not go in? Why did that not go in? Okay, I guess I played it at too much pace. And things have just gone from bad to worse. Leicester's now 16 in front with 67 remaining. This is just like, why is this happening? Meanwhile, on the other table, Gary Wilson has emerged victorious. And Joe Long back on the table. Oh, good things are happening. Joe Long has got another shot in this match. Come on, Joe. Joe, we really want you to win this because you're such a great player. You know, you are a great at the game. A long way off it, really. But yeah, I don't rate Leicester. The reason is I don't know if what I'm saying is true, but I think it is true. I think it's somewhat true, certainly in those olden days. Maybe Leicester beat O'Sullivan because he played slowly. Like, I think Leicester doesn't have the... I don't think Elliot Leicester is the fastest player in the world. Well, I know he isn't the fastest player in the world, but I don't think he's... Well, that's kind of... I'm using that as an understatement. I know he's a very slow player. Like when he played Yan Bingtao last year, they got pulled off a frame early. But then again, maybe that's Yan Bingtao. I think Yan got pulled off a frame early this year as well. In his first round match, so you can hardly blame Leicester, but still, Yan, Leicester, whatever. I don't know, I've never really picked up on it. My dad reckons Yan Bingtao plays really, really slowly. My dad reckons Yan Bingtao is a very, very slow player. That's why he wins, because he bores the other player to death. But certainly, Elliot Leicester, he pretty beat Ronnie O'Sullivan because he made him bored. That's certainly how some players get around the top players, Most notably, who I'm talking about. Most notably, who I'm talking about, I hope. I'm having a dig at Mark Selby in a very passive way, very passive-aggressive sort of way. Very, very slow player. Or certainly reckoned to be, certainly thought of as a very slow player in the game, A great he may be. Slowly he is. Well, that's what people on YouTube call him anyway. Slowby. Slow. Okay. It doesn't even make that much. It's not even that funny, but whatever. He ain't even that slow. Like, yeah, compared to Ronnie O'Sullivan, yes, he's slow. Compared to Peter Ebdon, he's like lightning. Compared to Rod Lawler, he's probably pretty fast as well. Compared to Elliot Leicester, he's probably decent speed. At least he finishes his sessions, and he clearly finished a session which he eased to a heavy scoreline on against Kurt Mafflin this year, so he can't be too slow. He took an 8-1 lead over Kurt Mafflin after one session, and that was an afternoon session, so he's finishing the sessions. He won 8 frames, so he can't be playing that slow. Maybe there were 8 easy frames. Well, certainly the later ones seemed like big break sort of Selby on a roll stuff. The middle of the session, the last frame was just like, it should have been 7-2. Like, Mafflin should have potted frame ball there. Like, why did he take his eye off the pot? What happened? Did he start celebrating, thinking, I've done it, I've made it 7-2, I've won a frame? That's not what you do against someone as heartless. Because that's why Selby is. He's heartless. He's ruthless. That's why he's a 4-time world champion. You don't be a 4-time world champion for having a heart, do you? Well, when I say having a heart, I mean like feeling for your opponent. You're not a 4-time world champion if you feel sorry for your opponent. Meanwhile, the scores are still looking pretty much the same on the Joe Leicester. I don't think any foul points have been given away during that safety battle. I don't know if any have been given away at all during the frame. Still sitting here hoping my player gets a chance. Because that's what I've got. And it's a chance that I need to cherish. So So even if I can just play around this blue spot, rack up some points, you know. It's not like it's not like I'm really tight for points or something, like I need to take blacks. Obviously that pink and black might become a little problem later. I might want to think about some sort of a cannon. Actually, let's not do that shot. How about we just play it cool, play it calm. How about just play a normal reserved human being sort of shot? A percentage, how about we just play a percentage of shots?
21.
And that wasn't even that was a terrible shot really. I'm not even nicely on this blue. No, it's not as bad as I thought. Let's play on this red in bulk now that on the wrong side of the blue. Because it's not so wrong. The red where it is. Blue's not my friend in this match. It wasn't in the last frame, I think it was the last frame. But that was a decent shot. Let's give myself a potential banana skin of a red.
He just wants this to drop
As long as I slot it in. That was good, yeah. Have got an angle to bring the black and the pink out, but it is not going to work out because I need to get onto the red.
Tempted by this red. Tremendous shot. He's right on top of his game at the moment. 32. Lots of power on this shot.
Here goes. All guns blazing if you like. Don't really know where the cue ball's going to land. Well, I'm on the yellow. Yeah. I'm on the yellow pretty good. Good indeed.
38.
So in the time that I've been potting these balls, there is no score change between Ualong and Slesser.
Remaining. What a wonderful pot. Excellent positional play there.
The boys in the commentary box are pleased, I'll tell you that much. My heart is beating so fast, like, after Zhang Ji, like, this is just like, if Zhou goes out, then I think, Slesser's just scored. But if Zhou goes out, then I think I should just stop reckoning players are going to win, because I was like, oh yeah, Erzenbacker's definitely going to win this, like, Erzenbacker's a dark horse, Erzenbacker's going to win in the Championship League. Erzenbacker's out in the very next round of me saying all that about him. And what happens in this tournament is that in the first round, yeah, he didn't get much of a sniff. Having said that, against John Higgins, you got to take what you can get. Well, I've left that black as easy as who might as well be Slesser would like it, because he's a baddie as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's as goodies and baddies if we're playing a children's film. We're acting out like a children's film, like a little preschool film. Goodies and baddies. Are you the goodie? Are you the baddie?
That's really close.
And that is Graeme Dott 4-3 with all intent, I have to say. So, things are just taking a turn for the worst. He's going to go 4-3 up. He's going to win. I am upset. I'll tell you that. I'm very upset inside. That was cruel. That was harsh. That was unfair. I worked hard on that clearance. And now, well, just gotta pull it together really. You know, I'm not out of this, but really badly need to take this frame. I do not want to be 5-3 down. And Slesser, this is just getting from bad to worse. And Slesser is looking good for victory, or in my books, looking bad for Zhou Yulong. You know, I don't think he's going to reach the top 16. I don't know if he has. He might have done. I hope he has, but I don't think the money's high enough. I think you need about 50,000 points previous to win or runner-up to get that, so... This is a really low money event. Well, it's not. It's £100,000 for the winner. It's only 70 grand at the home nation, so you can hardly say it's really low value, like being stingy or something.
We know what a prolific long potter he is, so I'd assume he'd take this on.
Like 70 grand might be a bit stingy for a winner's fund. I mean, compared to some tournaments, you get that for runners-up. Okay, mainly the big money tournaments like you know, the Triple Crowns. I think this might even be one of them, International Championship. So that's up to 45. 22 in front he is with 20, something, whatever remaining, 51 I think. 51? 51. Player control cannon here. Oh, what a beauty.
That's a beauty.
And Dave Hendon has literally said, that's a beauty.
13.
But he's just chosen that from a list of remarks that he can say. I've said that. I'm actually seeing what was so great about the shot. I hope Lester's broken down. I mean, that might sound evil. Like, I hope he's broken down. Like wishing bad fortune on someone. But I don't mean it against Lester. Like, I don't hate him. I just mean it because I want Zhou Yuelong to win. Like, it's almost becoming a joke that this man can't get into the top 16. Like, you can make a meme out of it. Like, I mean, he couldn't even qualify for the Crucible. He was that close to qualifying for the Crucible, and what does he go and do? He doesn't qualify. He loses to a probably quite unfancied Liam Highfield. Like, Liam Highfield, a player who doesn't even produce that many great results in Zhou Yuelong. World number 17 goes and loses to some unfancied player. Like, I don't, no disrespect to Liam Highfield, but he's just unfancied for the title. I mean, if you ask me who's going to win the World Championship, Liam Highfield ain't going to be the first. Yeah, Liam Highfield ain't the first name that comes to mind, I'm sorry to say. To him and his supporters. And his family or whatever, but I suppose family kind of falls under the category. I suppose family kind of falls under the category of supporters, and wow, we're racking up the points here. Breaker 37. This is a big banana skin the way I'm playing this shot. Good shot though. Nah, I think I'm going to have to bite on. I think the medicine's about to be taken, I'm sorry to say. And it's going to be curtains for Zhou Yuelong. For some unfancied players, man, in the semi-finals. Gary Wilson, never won a ranking title. Elliot Sessa, never won a ranking title. Oh, I wonder who's going to be in the final, man. Like, all will be revealed tonight at the end of... Or by the end of the night, I'll know. Like, you can obviously just use the internet and type in who won the British Open 2021. Like, but for me, I can't do that. I mean, you know, Mark Williams is probably the most fancied player for the title now. And, you know, I mean, Ricky Walden, you know, in the old days, you wouldn't completely doubt Ricky. Zhou needs... Elliot's on the cusp now of an upset. Well, I don't know if it would count as a proper upset. It would upset me, myself. Probably might not be an upset to the sport. But I mean, Zhou, you had it 3-1 lead. You were about to win. Why? Great player of the game. Like, Zhang Jiankang should have gone through last night. I'm just still a bit salty about that Mark Williams won that, you know. It was annoying because I really thought that Zhang Jiankang deserved to win that, you know. In the third round, Zhang Jiankang beat Pang Junxiu. I really wanted to see Pang Junxiu in action, you know, because it's a really good play by the sounds of it. I think everyone really rates Pang Junxiu. You know, I think he had his first season last year. He's a highly rated. I mean, all the pundits and all this. Oh, Zhou Yuelong's got another shot. Everyone, 35 remaining. This. Oh, just think of the glory. I've written him off in my head. Zhou Yuelong could taste victory on tomorrow night. Woo! Or earlier as a Monday. Let's not get presumptuous. No best of 11s. They can linger. Oh wow! Show you along, the great. Show you along the great of the game. The greatest. What is he the greatest then? The greatest player outside of the top 16. Right this minute, right now, the greatest player outside of the top 16 is Zhou Yuelong.
67.
It says Zhou Yuelong's on 27. It says 0 points left on the table. Who knows what's happened? But I can't really tell from the app, so I'm getting onto the website to work this out. Just bear with me for a moment. I'm just too busy on this score stuff. No, live scores. Who knows? I think Elliot Slessor's fouled. That would probably be a wise guess, considering there's still 35 on the table. I think that's why Elliot Slessor's breaks come to an end, because he's fouled. Because all of a sudden, I mean, I highly doubt Zhou would have got him to foul that quickly, unless Elliot played an awful safety and then Zhou was able to snooker him or something. But still, this would be a turnaround from the cusp of defeat, from the cusp of victory to the cusp of defeat to winning. Like, it would just be a roller coaster for Zhou Yuelong, and he would really relish the experience of being in another semi-final. You know, him and Lu Ning last year, both in the UK semi-final together, and who knows? They could be both back again tonight. I would have loved it if the UK final last year was Zhou Yuelong versus Lu Ning, just because nobody would have fancied that for the final. Like, I would have watched it, definitely. I would have watched it if it wasn't Trump and Robertson. Like, if even one of those two semi-finalists had got through, I would have definitely watched it, because it's getting better and better. Zhou Yuelong just taking another 4 points. Oh wow, we've won the frame. So salvaging 4-4 at the end of this episode. I think, like, I don't know how with Elliot Slessor doing all that, but you know, it could be a very good ending. I finish on a century, Zhou Yuelong survives the scare. I think I'd take it for a happy result. Happily ever after, Jack and the Beanstalk. That came out of nowhere. I was just like, yeah, Jack and the Beanstalk, just because that's the first fairy tale. That's the first fairy tale that comes to mind. A guy who plants a seed and then climbs up a beanstalk up into the clouds, because his head is in the clouds. I don't know if his head's in the clouds, but whatever. That break of 81 and gives us the 8th frame, and we salvage a 3-1 deficit for the end of the session, and we level things up. It's 4 apiece. It's even Stevens. Hey, it could have been worse. We could have been 5-3 down. Probably could have been 5-3 up as well. You know, we were unlucky in the 7th frame. My concentration was perhaps messed up by the Zhou Yuelong Elliot Slessor game, but such is life. And yeah, that's it for today. Yeah, Graeme Dott and me. Yeah, I've probably got. I'm sure at some point I'll probably call Graeme Dott Elliot Slessor. I'm probably. I don't know. I might even call myself Zhou Yuelong, but anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. Really helps me out, and yeah, thanks for watching, have a good day and goodbye.